Welcome back to Hayu Presents. This episode takes a closer look at the reality stars who didn't just stop at reality fame. They managed to turn their spotlight into big businesses, brands, and careers that have lived on once the televisions are turned off. From side hustles to whole empires, we're unpacking how reality personalities make the leap with, well, varying degrees of success. Today I'm with TikTok sensation and my good friend Josh Zilberberg, who knows firsthand how becoming an online sensation can lead to a hugely successful career. His unique humor is self-deprecating and sarcastic and has won the hearts of over 3 million TikTok followers. Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
I am so much better now that I'm staring at your handsome face.
Thank you so much. And likewise, obviously. I'm so glad we got to do this.
I'm so glad we got to do this. You're the perfect guest because we are talking about people who turned being an online sensation into an actual successful career, which is precisely what you have done.
I mean, I try. I don't know about successful, but career nonetheless.
I love it. Now, you have amassed 3 million TikTok followers. How on earth did this start for you?
Okay, so I used to be I worked in sales for like a really high-end furniture company. And then COVID hit, and obviously nobody wanted to buy expensive furniture when they couldn't see or feel or touch it because we were in lockdown. And that's kind of like at the same time that TikTok started blowing up, and I just started posting videos. And then one day, a video of me, I don't even remember what exactly the video was, but I was just on one of my usual rants that like anyone who knows me knows that is just like a part of my daily routine, went super viral. And I was like, oh, okay, I really wanted a nose job. Okay, I hated my old nose. And I was posting from my bedroom. And one day I got an email in my inbox. And at this time I had no management. It was literally just me. It was the first inquiry I'd ever gotten. And it was from an agency. And they said, how much would you charge for a sponsored post for a major streaming platform to advertise a new show that's coming out? I sat on it for a day. Coincidentally, that same day, I went to a consultation with a plastic surgeon for a nose job. The plastic surgeon was like, the price for I don't remember. It was like $10,000, let's say. And so I literally was like, okay. So I responded to them. I'm like, how about $10,000? Thinking that they would literally look at me and be like, actually get wrecked. You're delusional. Have a nice day. And they said, yep, no problem. And I was like, am I being punked? So then I did the video. 4 weeks later, there was a wire into my account for that total. I went and I got a nose job and I was like, oh,
Stop.
I can make money doing this. And so I did. And then I just like, it happened again and it happened again. And then when it got to the point that I was making more money from doing that than I was, at my actual 9-to-5 job, I was like, okay, let's take this more seriously. Let's strategize. Let's get management. And then it just kind of like snowballed from there.
I don't think people realize like how lucrative it can be. Now, there's something massive that you and I have in common is that we're both massive Hayu super fans.
Obsessed.
What is the show that you're most obsessed with?
Honestly, Real Housewives of Rhode Island for me has been a game changer.
Yep.
I think it is the perfect Housewives. There's been some legacy franchises, which I will watch until I croak. Like I love every franchise. But with that said, there was something new and fresh. And I was skeptical. I'm not going to lie at first. When I heard that it was coming out, I was like, what are they going to give us? That cast, they struck gold. They are so funny. They are kooky. They have this energy and they're just like the perfect amount of delusional and crazy that like I eat it up. And they're so good at being authentically themselves. Like you cannot tell me that there is another person in this world like Alicia. Like she is hilarious.
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City still give me day one, episode 1, season 1 vibes.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm obsessed with them. Honestly, dare I say, Lisa Barlow to me is so important. I know that she says that she's important to God. Like she's important to me too. She is so funny and clever and witty. You can not tell me that Mary Cosby is not the most unhinged housewife you've ever seen in your life. Totally. And even like Whitney Braun, like they're so good and their chemistry is crazy and the drama is so good. I no notes, 10 out of 10.
So wait, you've done a lot of really cool, fun skits around the Housewives universe. Who have you become friends with?
Okay, so I was actually just in Charleston and I went for dinner with Joe Bradley from Southern Hospitality. He was so lovely and so nice. I actually am friendly with Rodrigo from Southern Charm as well. I've met so many of them over the years, but I think that honestly, one of the people that I'm closest to is Zach from The Valley. Hilarious, incredible. Also, someone that was just made for reality television. I was just in Vegas with him on a trip, And he would wake up at like noon and like he'd be like, what are we doing today? And I'd give him like a rundown of what we're doing for the trip. And he would literally be like yelling at the top of his lungs in 3 different directions. And all of a sudden everything that needed to happen happened. Like he's just crazy, but in the best way.
It's funny because, you were talking about when it was COVID and a lot of people jumped on TikTok. We're all sitting at home and you blew up on TikTok. A lot of our Hayu housewives actually blew up on TikTok and social media during that time as well. Do you remember that?
Of course. And I think that like, not only did they blow up on TikTok, but because everyone was at home, it was 2020, it was a wild time. They needed a way. They weren't necessarily filming or things were postponed or no one knew what was going on and they needed a way to connect with their audience and they did. And like, again, that overlap that I was talking about earlier where there's that phone perception where it's also super raw and real and authentic. And that's the same with reality TV versus a scripted television show. And I think that like they're just like the perfect personality for it.
So perfect. A lot of Hayu stars have built successful brands. How difficult do you think it is to transition from being a reality star to a business owning entrepreneur?
I think that they are 2 completely different territories.
Yeah.
And that's why we've seen some people who are super successful. Maybe they have the affinity for, entrepreneurship. And there are some that, have not worked out to say the least. But I think that it's not the easiest transition. And I think it is a completely different ballgame. And again, fans are a lot more savvy and as consumers, I think that our generation versus our parents' generation, even like 40 years ago, were raised with such different standards of like what you are supposed to believe when it comes to products and advertising. When we were younger, and I think we were sort of like the end of it, when you would watch like a celebrity do an ad for like a drugstore skin cream or a drugstore shampoo. Our generation watches that commercial on TV and they say, there is no way that that person uses that $15 shampoo. Like they have the craziest extensions, the craziest whatever. Whereas I feel like 40 years ago, people were like, oh, if so-and-so is using that shampoo, like I want to use that shampoo. And so I think that like as consumers, we're so much more savvy. And so when it comes to, reality stars trying to do businesses, if they just slap their face on something and it's not actually a good product, it doesn't provide value or it feels inauthentic, it's destined to fail. And I think that that's where you see so many of these people, and whether it's they're working with an incubator or they're just, they're sort of like a face, but it's almost like a figurehead. They're not actually involved in the brand. I think that really translates and you can always tell. And I think that those are the products that never seem to work out as well as like when you can tell that the reality star actually is involved in the business in any sort of way and like cares.
Oh, 100%. And I think there's also a bit of a stigma around it as well. Like people don't always take them that seriously.
Of course. And it's funny, like I even think of like Loverboy with Kyle from Summer House, okay? He cares about his business. He is a go-getter. I've met him a few times and on every occasion I met, he's talked to me about Loverboy. Like I just ask conversationally how that's going. And every single time he tells me all the things he's working on. He is so involved in that business. Like that is his business. And I think especially with his like most recent scandal, I think that really reignited fans' desire to purchase from that brand and engage with that brand. And it's been amazing for them.
It's wild how a scandal can like catapult and also tank your own business that you've created through reality. I mean, you've got Kyle who that scandal probably had more people buying his drinks. And then you've got like Tom Sandoval, who his scandal like tanked their bar.
It's a crazy world out there and you have to be so careful.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Who else do you think's had a really successful business that you're obsessed with? I mean, we've got obviously Skinny Girl Margarita is insane. She's sold off like $100 million. You've got Kyle's $30 million drink group. Who else do you think in the Hayu world has really, really killed it?
Okay, this is like a hot take, but I actually think Erica Jane with her music career, like she is a performer. She's really good. And like Expensive is a good song. I don't care what anyone says. But I think that she put effort into production. She put effort into, like packaging it in just a right way. And I think that like it really resonated with like a lot of different communities that weren't like it transcended the reality TV fan community. And I think that was like really interesting because it's not like a consumer product like a lot of other businesses. But I think that it matters. It's still a business and entrepreneurial decision.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We love her. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is an excellent example. I mean, you've got Dorit has had multiple different, she's had a bridal gown collection. She's had a few different businesses. Then you look at let's talk about like Kyle Richards and Maurizio. I mean, how cool that the popularity of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills shone a light on the agency.
You know, it's crazy because, again, Mauricio was a successful real estate agent prior to whatever happened with the Hiltons, but you can tell that he cared about that agency so much. And he
Yep.
really he like dedicated that. And it literally competes with the top luxury real estate firms now. Like it competes with Sotheby's. And it's like they're literally in every city.
And look at Lisa Vanderpump. Everything she touches, the Hayu fans run to.
She is
just
a
turns it into
genius.
kills it.
She is a genius. Like she has a hotel on the Vegas Strip. Actually, think about that a housewife has a hotel on the Vegas Strip. That is some of the most expensive real estate in the world.
It's also not just conventional businesses, brick and mortar, or even a product. It can be like a service as well. I mean, look at James from Vanderpump Rules and even Meredith from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City DJing and genuinely good at it. And all the Hayu fans are there supporting.
I've seen James DJ once at Sir when I was just like walking by once and I saw through the window that he was like DJing in there and I was like, I need to go. And it was hilarious. It was so fun. It was like a community. I felt like I was with like-minded people dancing to James Kennedy inside of a Lisa Vanderpump restaurant. But yeah, Meredith too. Kyle Cook from Summer House is DJing, and even from Southern Hospitality, Maddie Reese is DJing now. And I know that she actually has performed with Meredith. Like it's so crazy that they're able to like parlay, you know, that reality TV experience into a business. And yes, it's not a conventional business. It's not a product, but they're putting on a show. Look at Luann's Cabaret, okay? I'm like, please.
Well, it's very obvious to see the ones that have become very successful. There's also been times when they've put their name on a brand or a project and it has very much backfired.
Of course. There's so many examples. I mean, think about the, like, She by Sheree, for example, like the running joke of like, where is it? You know, like, and it's rough because it's like you're attaching your name to a brand, right? And you're putting yourself out there and you're being vulnerable in a sense because you're like, I've worked on this. This is my work. This is what I've created. I would love for you to purchase it. And like, that's obviously an extreme case, but you're like, where's the product? Not only is it coming out the product, it's finding a way to like have that longevity, you know, because trends wax and wane and things change. And even like shows in popularity, they ebb and they flow. So it's like such a hard thing to do to like find a business that you can either like scale to sort of like continue on its own or to be able to ride that out. And it's like a really weird fickle thing, and the world can change or turn on you on a dime. So it's a really scary thing. And I can actually really empathize with them in the sense of like wanting to put yourself out there and being scared of like what the reception might be.
Of course. I mean, let's talk about Schwartz and Sandy's.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you be if you were the other Tom when that all broke?
Mortified. Like you go into business with this person, you open a bar with them.
Yep.
They have a personal scandal. Whether or not he was privy to that information, you know, like remains to be seen. But regardless, you know, you go into business and their personal mess that's not your fault ends up screwing you over in a really bad way. And honestly, he's nicer than I am, Tom Schwartz. Like, I'd be so mad.
What are some of the maddest ideas that you can remember from people in the Hayu universe?
I don't know if this counts as a business idea, but like the Homeless and Toothless Foundation or the Toothless. Basically, Dorit was talking about a charity that she's been working with and doing very work with. The name is the Homeless Not Toothless Foundation, and it gives dental work to people who are unhoused. And they could not get past the name. And like they were saying the name, they couldn't get the name right. It was just hilarious. And like, she's like, I'm not understanding. Like, it's a very important foundation. And like people were dying at the name. And I think that that's just like such a mad name for a charity that probably does very important work.
Yeah, no, very much so. It's funny because on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Candy Burris, her brand, Bedroom Candy, is adult pleasurable items. So, you know, like a lot of people in the Hayu universe will do hair care, skin care, things like that. I think Candy's adult pleasure items might be the only category of that. I think that was pretty mad. I think she still sells well. Everything she touches turns to gold, though.
She's iconic, and I would buy anything she put out, even if it had nothing to do with me. Like, if it was like a pink polka dot dress and it was the ugliest thing, if she had her name on it, I'd probably buy it because I'm obsessed with her.
Same.
I think that was a mad idea, absolutely. But also kind of makes sense because she's like a little cheeky. She's like, you know, like it makes sense for her. And I think that the ones that are a little more crazy, even Meredith Marks doing caviar and bath bombs, like she loves a bath. You know, it's something that ties into who they are, or at least like their personality speaks through it. And like, I don't care if it's mad, like I'll buy it.
I think one of the maddest ones that did really flop was Kim Zolciak-Biermann on The Real Houses of Atlanta. She had this skincare brand called Cashmere. Cute name. I think it was a mix of her children's names. And she alleged that it made like $15 million in 1 year. And everyone was like, girl.
There's no way.
She tried it.
It's really hard. I think that if you're not someone who's been an entrepreneur before, you have to really, it's important to surround yourself with people that know what they're talking about.
Yes.
And I think that you can place blame on the actual personality who's starting the brand, but sometimes they just got really bad advice. And sometimes the market just wasn't in the right condition for whatever they were trying to do. So like, there's so many factors at play that I feel like I can't comment. But at the same time, she's one to make a mistake or two.
I feel like there is a missed opportunity because a lot of people that are on shows that air on Hayu should partner up. Like imagine the below deck. Imagine Captain Jason and maybe Aisha or one of the other chief stews partnering up for like a resort brand.
A luxury boat decor brand. They have linens. They have tablecloths. They have cutlery and serveware. I'd buy it. I don't even have a yacht, but I'd buy it. I'll probably never have a yacht and I'd still buy it. I think a really good pairing would be Joe Bradley from Southern Hospitality with like Brad, also from Southern Hospitality. And they open like a luxury travel agency or something because I feel like they're VIP hosts. They bring people to Charleston. They sell them tables. I feel like they know how to like plan an itinerary for a weekend. And I feel like they need to like do like a luxury, almost think like a concierge bespoke travel service. They would excel at that. And I'd go anywhere they sent me.
You know who should team up? Sierra from Summer House and Ariana from Vanderpump Rules. They are the two people that were scorned publicly. I don't know. What would their business idea be, do you think? What could these two people that were embarrassed and cheated on
A dating app that filters out horrible men.
I'm going to go and watch that. I quit. That's actually a great idea.
And that's it. That's the show.
I think there's a massive missed opportunity. Hear me out.
Okay.
We need a pop group. I think we need Luann. We need Erica Jane. I think Sheena can do a verse. Sheena can do a verse or a chorus.
Yeah.
Meredith can create
She's on the beats.
The track.
I would stream that all day. It would be my number one most streamed.
I think if I had to pick one person that I wanted to go into business with in the Hayu universe, it would be Bose from Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yeah,
she is that girl.
Genius. Like that's the entrepreneur icon. Mine would be probably Kathy Hilton just because she's so crazy and I want her around me at all times.
Do you feel like people underestimate how hard these stars work?
Yes. People think it is so easy to just film a reality show, get a couple brand deals, start a business, have everyone else do the business for you. They think they got so lucky and they don't have to work that hard. One, being able to air out your life like that. We're not even getting into the entrepreneurial aspect yet. Just being able to air your life out like that and have every person judge your every move. And again, like this is their actual lives. It's not scripted. So it's daunting to say the least, and it could be traumatizing at, the worst aspects of it because they see, through the highs, but definitely through some crazy lows, whether it's like personal family things, relationships disintegrating, financial issues. Like there's so much that we've seen over the years on these shows, and that's on display to see. So that's already daunting. And then when you get into the business aspect of it, again, you're putting yourself out on the line. You're being vulnerable. You're investing in something. And it's a lot of work to navigate a new industry that you may not be familiar with. If you don't have the right people surrounding you and giving you good advice and helping people, it is so easy to crash and burn and end up risking your reputation because you're putting your name on something that isn't good.
I want to talk about some of the most iconic business ventures for people who have starred in shows that air on Hayu. And I think we're going to have an absolute blast. A lot of these you're going to know, and I think the fans are going to live for. The first clip I want to show you, this is so iconic. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Lisa Barlow has a wildly successful tequila company, but initially, Mary, who we love, was not always as supportive. Have a listen to how this played out back in the day.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. Good. How are you?
Spill on anybody.
I love your coat.
Holy Mary Cosby.
This is a Mary Cosby coat.
Mary and I didn't really leave things bad, but the last text message I got from Mary wasn't exactly nice. Lisa, you're the biggest idiot. You're a black widow. You are the biggest liar in Utah. Wow. You'll kill people with your nasty tequila. You remind me of a witch. You evil person. You're not interesting. You're a horrible human being.
It's the Black Widow for me.
It's the Black Widow for me too. But the tequila company became very successful.
One thing about Lisa Barlow, and this is like a hot take of mine, is that people say, that Vita Tequila is not that big. And Is it Jose Cuervo? Is it Patron? No, we all know that. But at the same time, it's a brand that her and John have been working on for years. And at the end of the day, she deserves credit for that because like that is a hard business to navigate and she's still doing it.
She's killing it. I know. I'm proud of her. I want to show you another clip. This is absolutely hilarious. So you may recall, obviously, when Schwartz and Sandy's was in its infancy, Katie was not about it. They have a very, very iconic altercation in the kitchen between Katie, Tom Sandoval, and the cast of Vanderpump Rules. You may remember this. Check it out.
You don't take criticism well at all, because the name blows.
No, it doesn't. Your name sucks. So original, dude.
It's your last name.
I know, honey. Okay,
It's great. That's why
honey,
I like it. You can either be on the Schwartz and Sandy train or, like, get off.
You guys, good luck with your bar.
She's on it.
Okay, dude.
Honey, wait,
I
don't
don't
leave us.
care anymore. I have more experience
No, you
than
don't.
both of you combined.
I get that Katie's mom owned a restaurant, but I'm the son of a firefighter. That doesn't mean I can hook up the water line and put out a fire.
Wow. Do you know I don't mean to be too shy, you know what's really ironic? She was right. Had they not used their last names as the name of the bar, it probably could have survived the scandal.
That is so true. I never even thought of that. That's genius. One, him sticking out his tongue and making the farting noise. He is mature as always. But second of all, yeah, like what your parents did doesn't, dictate what you can do. But like, yeah, she probably does have valuable knowledge. Also, like, he's difficult to say the least.
Yeah.
So like the fact that like she's like, this is stupid. That's what we love about her is that she's blunt like that. That's why she's so good for reality TV. I expect nothing less from that cast.
Oh, 100%. As if any of us were surprised by that little interaction.
Nothing.
The next clip, though, is a little bit of a surprise when Carl from the Summer House, we love the Summer House team, Carl completely shades Kyle regarding a business investment venture. And I was really surprised that Carl kind of went there with Kyle. Check this out.
So, what's everyone's plan this week?
I'm excited for your party.
What day is the soft launch again? The 27th?
Wednesday, yeah. There's so much going on with it. It's just completely overwhelming.
You made a ton of progress in a year.
Yeah.
Because like last year, you guys only had the truck, and now y'all have.
Yeah, we were just kind of starting out there.
Right.
I know like people expected things to happen quicker. Trust me, I wanted to.
It's been a year.
Yeah, Carl.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
There's been a lot of like people really, come through in my family and friends. I mean, I have some people at this table who've been incredibly, you all have, but with their wallets have been supportive. But then also just energy and all of it. It's been a journey, so.
To be honest, I'm a little shook. This conversation about investing took place literally 7 months ago. And again, in the summer. My wallet's way too deep in Loverboy.
Is the business actually in trouble of like folding?
I've tried to be open and honest with where I'm at with my business, marriage, our sex life. He knows more than everybody. He's not communicating to me because I'm having to hear about his issues with me from other people.
He said when you didn't invest, it was so sad. He wrote out a whole email to you and didn't send it.
When?
You guys
in the winter? In the winter? Well, like recently. I don't know.
I have a lot of thoughts.
A lot of thoughts.
I really feel so much sympathy for both of them in that situation. I don't think either of them are wrong. Carl really is part of the reason why Loverboy is what it is today. But at the same time, Kyle has been so transparent through this entire season that we did just watch. Like this was just from this past summer in interviews and stuff online about how deeply in the toilet he is in terms of like financial, how underwater he is with Loverboy. And, his scandal actually really helped sort of save it. But at one point he was actually concerned about like paying payroll. He's like taken out a loan of, I think it was like $1 million or something.
Wow.
Like he has to pay back like a crazy amount in order to just keep the business like liquid. I don't know. That's really tough. And that's why you never mix friendship and money.
The last clip I want to show you is when the world finally got to meet Boz on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, I've actually followed her career for years. And when it was announced that she was joining the cast, I was absolutely blown away. This is when the ladies of Beverly Hills get to meet her for the first time at a private event at Sutton's house on the main road.
I'm recently retired from 25 years in corporate America.
Wow.
Yes. So I was the chief marketing officer at Netflix, chief brand officer at Uber, chief marketing officer at Endeavor, which owns WME. So I've done a lot of things.
You're basically corporate
America all wrapped
That's right.
up in one
Yes.
fabulous human
Yes.
being.
But like this, you know what I mean?
Bose is the real deal. People might pretend to be the boss, but she's the boss.
She's the boss. You look up boss in the dictionary and there's a little picture of Bose.
Yes, in that exact outfit that she was wearing with Sutton behind her wearing those antlers because I couldn't take her seriously.
I'm actually, tell me if you agree. I was always surprised that she and Dorit vibed.
You know, same. But at the same time, Dorit, I feel like, is a little bit of a chameleon. And she says what she thinks that the person in front of her wants to hear and then talks out of the other side of her mouth later. But like with Bose, I think that she came in and gave Bose the accolades and the respect, like from the very first interaction that they ever had, gave her the accolades that I think Bose was looking for in that interaction. And maybe that first impression just stuck with her because, yeah, it is kind of like they are a weird pair.
It works so. Yeah, now they're like thick as thieves. Josh, I have a surprise for you. One of our favorite stars of the Real Housewives of Potomac, Tia Glover, is going to tell us how to become simultaneously a reality superstar and a real-life boss. It is a pleasure to welcome Tia from the Real Housewives of Potomac with us. She is the real deal. Hi, gorgeous.
Hi, babe.
How would you describe being the ultimate boss? I mean, you are a mum of 4. You have these enormous real estate transactions.
We can do it all. I think it's also very important to show that we can do it all. For my kids, you know, I want you to be a pretty girl, a well-dressed girl, an educated girl, a girl about her business and her money so that you could be independent. So yeah, there's, you know, a lot of people are of the mind that you can't. You may not do everything to 100%, but it's really important to kind of get your fingers dirty in all the things. I mean, first and foremost, my kids come first. Like I went to boarding school when I was 8. So I always wanted to be a hands-on mom. So I stepped away from work for a long time because I nursed all of my children for 2 years. People don't know that. Never had a bottle. Like I was really in it. But then now it's my time to reclaim myself. And it's important that they see that too. And I really enjoy it.
How do you juggle being a successful businesswoman and being on a reality show?
It's a lot. And I'm still learning. I'm still navigating that space because it's been my first year. I have a lot of great support at the office. My office, Sotheby's, shout out to TTR Sotheby's. They have really rallied behind me. And I was only with them a year before I started the show. So they could have been like, who's this newbie? Like bringing all this chaos to the office. But my broker, Rob, is like my personal person. He's such a trooper. And so they really help me with some of the things I can't carry because I'm filming. They've been incredibly supportive. I don't think you can be successful without having like a good group of people around you that really support you and share your vision. So yeah, I'm not doing this as an island. And even with my family, my husband, my children, they're all supporting me. They support me being away and all of that. It really does take a village.
What's been the hardest part?
I think, to be honest with you, the hardest part has been the anxiety. The anxiety that the show brings because you are wide open and people have so much to say. People are so interested. And what they don't realize is there's so much context missing from each episode. So they're not really seeing the whole picture. And then you worry about how is that going to affect you, your friendships, your business. You know, it's a big risk you take. And then the only thing that you can kind of rest your hat on is that people who truly know you or encounter you would be able to see. You know, a lot of times people blame producers, editing. They cannot edit what you don't give them. So that is the truth, you know. But, you know, if you see me feisty with somebody, just know that as your realtor, I will be feisty in negotiations too. So that those characteristics do translate for your good. I'm not a pushover. Not in the boardroom, not on the show.
I love that. What's harder, your big high net worth clients or dealing with the Housewives of Potomac?
Housewives of Potomac, 100%. 100%. I was telling my mum the other day, I said, I have a lot more joy when I'm going to go to a showing with a client or going for a closing because it's ordered. You know that process. You just follow protocol and, you know, and it's a one-on-one personal relationship. Housewives, you just don't know who's going to come for you that day, what somebody has in store. You just don't know. So every day you wake up, it's like, what's it going to be today? You have no idea. Who wants to live their life like that? Like, you know? Like it's London. I have my umbrella in my bag because I know that I can expect rain. I'm in London. You know the expected. But yeah, housewives, you do not know what's coming your way. You don't. You don't know if you need to secure your wig because somebody's about to snatch it off. You don't know. You don't know.
And like this season in particular, we could not have predicted all the chaos that came down. Do you know what I mean? Like not in a million years or not for $1 million could we have predicted that.
And please know that we're not predicting either. We don't know.
Right.
We don't. Yeah, we're with you guys. We don't know.
What are your non-negotiables in your business dealings and maybe even in your friendships? Are there any non-negotiables that you're like, okay, this is how you have to be?
I don't like lies. I don't know if you've caught on to that. I do not like.
I got a little hint.
I do not. That really agitates me because, especially when they're stupid lies, because then you just, you know, you're giving your authentic self and then you feel like a little bit manipulated. And even like in transactions with real estate, you have to be, you're handling huge funds, you know.
Totally.
You get cleared by the FBI. You have to be very transparent. So I think that would be my non-negotiables and just going below the belt.
Of the cast, who do you think would be a dream client and who do you think would be a challenging client?
Kay and Giselle would be great clients because they're very clear about what they want. They're very direct. Yep. So they will tell you exactly what they're looking for. There'll be no nonsense. There'll be no like, oh, well, I'm not sure. I have to think about it. They are very laser focused. So I think they would be really good real estate clients. I think Stacey would be a little bit challenging because she's not as forthcoming. I think Angel would be challenging because she's looking for a very specific home. So not from personality, but from meeting her needs. She's actually found a home that fits her.
Oh,
so
fabulous.
That's fun. Yeah, so that's great. And she's told us that, so I'm not spilling tea that can't be spilled. She's my friend, so I hold her secrets close. But in terms of perhaps what she was looking for, it would have been challenging to find. So, yeah.
I want to play a little game that as a housewife fan that you and I are, I think you're going to really enjoy.
Okay.
It is called Partner Up. Okay. So I'm going to give you an either or scenario and I want you to tell me who out of the either or you would go into business partnership with.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you the options. Number 1, Lisa Vanderpump or Bethany Frankel?
Oh, gosh, that's a hard one.
Hard one.
Lisa Vanderpump, she's been around longer.
Heather Dubrow or Dr. Nicole Martin?
Dr. Nicole.
Next one, tricky one, Carl Richards or Kathy Hilton?
Listen, we have to go with the big sister, Kathy Hilton. She gave me a beautiful pair of earrings as well, so I'm locked in.
Did she?
At BravoCon, yeah. I was wearing them yesterday. Love Kathy Hilton.
How did that come to be? She just gave them to you and did she send it to you?
No, so it was BravoCon and she had a storefront, her and Nikki.
Yeah.
And I saw them in the bathroom and I thought, I'm going to come visit you. So I go over there and she said, let's give Tia a pair of earrings. And then Nikki goes, let's give Tia a pair of earrings. So I walked away with 2 earrings and I was like, oh, wow, thank you. I literally was just going over to say, I love you guys. But I love them even more because gifts are my love language. So
they are my love language as well. We have that in common. Okay, Erica Jane or Countess Luann? You'd have fun.
Erica Jane. But by the way, them two together would be like a dynamic duo. But I'd go with Erica Jane.
Okay,
it's expensive to be married.
I love that. Candy Burris, love her. Or Garcelle from Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Candy, all day, hands down.
Boss.
Candy, teach me your ways.
Boss.
Yes. Boss of all
love
bosses.
her.
She's worldwide, baby.
I know, baby. She's amazing. She's
I met her at BravoCon, took a picture with her. I am on her Instagram, like, what? Because I used to listen to her music before I even watched reality TV. Like,
totally.
Candy for sure.
She's the real deal.
Yeah.
And final one, okay, Captain Lee or Captain Sandy?
Captain Lee based on looks alone.
I love that. Tia, we love you. You are my new real estate agent. Come and buy me something in LA. Anything you need.
Have my people for your people.
Isn't she amazing? Like, that's how you do it. That's how you become a real life boss. That's how you turn this into gold. What I love about the Hayu fans is they will share their opinion. Like, they don't hold back. They like to tell us what they think. And this fan wrote in, I absolutely love this. Here's what they said. Just seen that Aisha from Below Deck has launched an alcoholic coconut water brand. Have I been living under a rock? I love her so much. Anything that woman does or says, I will forever be obsessed with. Danny from The Hull. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'll buy that. That sounds incredible.
I'll buy that.
I love coconut water and I love her.
I love her as well. Now I want to switch gears and play a little game where I'm going to test your knowledge on some of the most popular ventures that have happened in the Hayu universe. Okay, so I will
Let's do it.
share with you the venture and I want you to tell me who you think it was that started this incredible venture. All right, number one, which former housewife of Atlanta is studying a Master of Science right now?
Cynthia Bailey.
No, she could do it though. Shamari.
100%.
Number two, which Real Housewife of New York is the CEO of a spa focused on vaginal rejuvenation?
Sonia Morgan.
No, she could be. Cindy Barshop. Number three, which Southern Charm cast member traded the finance bro life to run a wellness retreat in Bali?
Austin.
JT Thomas. Austin could as well. He should. He could do that in Australia. Which Real Housewife of Miami became a celebrity dentist?
Lisa Hochstein.
She also should. Karen Sierra. Which Real Housewife of New York is hosting her own courtroom TV show now?
I have no idea.
Ebony K. Williams. I did not see that coming. You couldn't have given me $1 million bucks. And the final one, which below deck stew went on to become the vice president of engineering at a solar energy company?
Seriously, I don't know, but who? Tell me right now.
Sam.
I'm obsessed with that. That is insane.
I know. I love her. I love that for her. She can now buy her own yacht.
Yeah, good for her. Wow, I got 0 of these right.
It's time now for a little award show because I would like to hand out some awards for some of the best entrepreneurs in the Hayu universe. Who would you like to give an award to for someone who has been, in your opinion, a strong and talented entrepreneur?
I'm going to give it to Kyle Cook, and I'm going to tell you why. He has gone through it personally, and I think everyone villainized him for so long leading up to this scandal, and I've always had a soft spot for him. Not that I think that he was the best husband, not that I think that he was even the best friend at times, but what I will say is that he has dedicated himself to that business. I think the product's actually good. I've tried it. I like it, okay? And I think that he works really hard. And even watching his new spinoff now in the city and seeing more of him in his day-to-day in New York versus summers in the Hamptons, I think that he really cares about his business. And I think that he's a smart businessman and he's savvy. And I think that that's what deserves that award. So I'm going to give it to him.
I love it. I actually would split mine. I would split my award down the middle. The first person I would give it to is obviously Candy Burris. That's no shock. But people don't realize, I mean, she had the Old Lady Gang. She has multiple restaurants in Atlanta. She still
100%.
writes enormous hits for Ed Sheeran. She had Candy Coated Nights. She has so many different business ventures and handles it all like a boss.
And don't forget that adult pleasure business.
Exactly, the adult pleasure business. I've been to, it's called the Candy Factory in Atlanta, and it is like, she is the boss of all bosses. And another person who does not get enough credit, Heather Gay from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She is like a legit author.
You're right. And she did that documentary about Mormonism. Like, she's doing things. And Beauty Lab in itself is like a crazy, like, she's a successful businesswoman. So, like, good for her.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I'd split it down the middle for those two. We're nearing the end of our time together. I could literally sit here all day with you.
Devastated. Can we just do this forever?
It's time now. Every single guest we have on Hayu Presents, we like to ask, that's my opinion. I want to know from you, Josh, what is your opinion? What are you very, very passionate about in the Hayu universe?
My hot take is that Lisa Barlow deserves more credit than a celebrity tequila founder, most of them. And I'm going to tell you why. Most people, especially celebrities, reality stars, whoever, when they start a liquor brand, it's usually they work with an incubator, which essentially, for those of you that don't know, is like a brand or a company whose job is to create brands with public figures. And they take care of everything from logistics, supply chain, manufacturing, packaging, whatever. And basically, as the public figure, you are the figurehead, you are the face of it. You slap your face on it, you sell the product, you call it a day. And it's some sort of like ownership split or royalty split that way. Lisa did not rely on Salt Lake Housewives to launch her brand. That's a brand that her and John have been working on for years prior to the show ever existing conceptually, which means that she has had a vested stake in the business, and authenticity and integrity is so important to me in business. And so for her to actually have like built that business with her husband, I think is so important. And yes, do I think that she is the most successful tequila company in the world? Do I think she is like Patron or Jose Cuervo or whoever? No. But at the same time, like, that's a business that she actually has built.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion, because people love to say that nobody cares about Vida Tequila. I care about Vida Tequila, and that's my opinion.
I love that opinion. And can I just say, I spent a week with Lisa Barlow in London with Hayu. She is the coolest.
No,
She is
I'm shaking. I'm sweating. I
Oh
need to know
my
everything.
goodness.
I'm going to call you later and we're going to debrief.
Yeah. Go back and watch everything on Hayu from her because she's just an icon. I love her. Of course, we had to check in with the Hayu community to get their hot take, their opinion on things. This is what Lucinda from Aberdeen said. She said, was toasting bread the other day and literally had a flashback to Sonia Morgan repeatedly promising us a toaster oven. She spoke about it so much on Real Housewives of New York. Sonia, I'm still waiting. Where is it? Fair call. Valid. Josh, we have loved having you as a guest on Hayu Presents.
Thank you so much for having me.
We love you. You're welcome on Hayu Presents anytime, my friend.
Thank you.
Josh was the perfect guest. He's the ultimate example of someone who became an internet sensation and turned it into an actual successful business. If you like this episode of Hayu Presents, make sure you subscribe and follow everywhere you get your favorite podcasts. See you next week.